Hello, adventurer. It's good to see you. You have made it to the morning grind.
Welcome, welcome.
It's the live stream at the beginning of the Geekverse, where we talk about all types of topics in geekdom, gaming, and fantasy, with an emphasis on being constructive and creating the things that we want to exist in the world.
It's all on the grind, Sizemore. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
That's exactly right. There are a lot of adventures to be had today. Dungeons to explore and monsters to slay, and who knows what a random encounter might send our way. That's why we have to prepare. So settle in now for the morning grind with your favorite beverage in hand.
Tea? Or maybe something a little stronger. I've got a few bottles of the old Wynyard left.
Whatever you want. Pull up a chair.
Oh, dude. Oh.
If you're feeling fancy, how about a cappuccino? Or a frappuccino? Or how about an espresso?
Just tea, thank you.
Sounds good to me, Gandalf. Whatever you want. I'm just glad you're here.
Everyone is welcome. You can just watch if you want. You don't have to worship anything you don't want to worship.
Thank you, Mike. But be forewarned.
Sometimes we get really strange characters around here.
Wait, what's that you say? Why can't you come and be a part of the stream?
My wife would disown me.
Oh no, I bet she'll be fine with it. Come on in.
Am I scared for my safety? No.
What are we supposed to do?
Everybody do the secret handshake.
Secret cultist handshake.
Oh, now do wizards who love each other.
This, my friend, is a science.
I still don't have gills, but it's fine.
It's all on the grind, son. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
Dude, this would be a sick place to bring the band.
Indeed it would be, Dave. It really would. I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Oh, look, here's someone new.
Is this the cultist meetup?
Yes it is.
Come to hang out? Please accept me. I have nothing else.
Okay, we accept you. Everyone's welcome here.
Brought some snacks.
Well, that makes things even better.
You want some coffee? I don't drink coffee. You sure? It's cultist coffee. What makes it cultist coffee? I'm a cultist and I'm drinking it. Oh. Then I'll have some.
What exactly is going on here?
I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome, welcome. It's so great to have you. Oh, and look, here comes another stranger.
Can we help you?
Yes, fellow cultists. I could really use some food.
Oh yeah? Welcome. We have donuts.
Oh, it's me. I'm glad I'm here. I'm sure you have a few questions for me, though.
What's your name? Who do you work for? What god do you worship?
Great questions, Rob.
I'm Steve King, and I worship Nyarlathotep.
No, not really. I'm just Heath, and I won't be worshiping anything this morning. But I will be your host. Welcome to the office. We're going to have a great time. I've got my coffee ready, because now it's time for the morning grind.
If you could become a fish, that would be amazing. Then I could command you with my mental fish powers.
Good morning! Good morning! Welcome to my home, welcome to the office, and welcome to the morning grind. I hope you are doing well. I feel like life was a disaster over here. I have really got to get things under control over here as far as like my desk is a mess. The kitchen is a mess, but anyway, life's been plowing forward. Last night, we had a fantastic conversation about Fight Club on the Table Talk channel. I thought that went very well. Doug and I were talking about Fight Club, which, yes, as everyone says, isn't that violating the rules? I like that. Let's talk about Fight Club. But had that conversation last night. That went very well. I would encourage you to check that out. It is over on the Table Talk channel. Tomorrow night, today's Wednesday, right? Yes. So today's Wednesday. Tomorrow night, as requested by everyone, I've been refreshing for over an hour now. I guess I'll have to enter the Discord group. Oh. No, this is the right time, right? Nine. I mean, it's always a little bit after 9:30. But anyway, tonight, No, excuse me, tomorrow night. You guys have asked for it, so tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central Time. I will be talking with Ian Runkle of Roll of Law. So right here, I'll put this copy this link over. This is Ian Runkle. We're going to be talking about the Elf license and the Orc license and other things going on in Table Talk, but I'm sure we will be talking about the licensing thing. We took a look at the licensing situation quite a bit here on this channel, and then we also took a look at the Orc and then also the Elf. And so he's going to be here to discuss it with us by request, everybody, tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Then I'll be re-airing my discussion with Doug. Oh, no, wait a minute. This is... Oh, yeah. So then, then next Tuesday, I got ahead of myself because I worked on thumbnails yesterday. And normally I don't do that until Thursday. Until Wednesday, rather, till today. So next Tuesday, you people have also been asking for that. Everyone's been asking for this. So we're going to conclude our discussion of Star Trek 6. I'm really looking forward to this on next Tuesday. So that's what's going on over here. And we crossed 1,000 subscribers on the new Table Talk channel. So this is fantastic. So I really appreciate everybody. So that's what's coming up. On Sunday, I'm going to re-air the Star Trek 1 conversation. We got a lot of material on Star Trek, and it needs to go over to the new channel. So the Star Trek 1 conversation will return on Sunday. So that's what's going on. Hey, James, good to see everybody this morning. Good morning, Mike. Good morning, Zero the Blade. Good morning, Robert and PH. Good morning. Yeah, this should be standard time here. All right, so hope everybody else is doing fantastic. So that's what's going on this morning. Exciting stuff. Let's go over here. Everybody got your drink this morning? I've got a drink right here. Diet Mountain Dew. Didn't get to make coffee this morning, but that'll work. Let's bring up our books. I was up working on writing this morning. Did some writing, but also actually I've been investigating Drake's writing writer's room, which seems really great. So for those of you who are interested, it's very different from the kinds of stuff that we talk about on the Table Talk, if you are interested in that. Because right now, the way that it's set up is not so much talking about like the plot and structure kinds of things like we talk about on Table Talk. It's very much about, okay, getting the words actually down and the words right. So it's not worried about the big picture stuff. It's it focused on what are the actual words and are the words right, and how do you become a master of that craft, getting the words down. So very interesting. PH says, I never had a problem on receiving the notification on the live stream. I don't know why YouTube is not sending me anymore. It does not want me to watch the grind anymore, but grinders we are. Yeah, I wonder about that. Some people will say on other channels that they're being unsubscribed or they don't receive notifications or things like that. And I don't know what the answer is. Of course, they've got this complex system of, okay, click, subscribe, then click notifications, then click all. It's like 3 layers of different notifications that you're supposed to be clicking through at least. And then I was hearing somebody say that, like, well, gee, even if you do all that and you don't respond to the notifications, then it stops sending you the notifications, or don't respond or don't go watch within a certain amount of time. That even if you say, hey, I want the notifications, you don't get them. So I don't know. But I guess the subscribe, bell, all is the best way. So James says, I know that struggle. Adrian was extremely helpful in bringing me to certain realizations about my process that I was missing. Super helpful. Oh, on the side of the writing stuff. Yeah, so there's the writing, there's the plotting and the development, which has definitely been a focus of mine over the last year. So this is turning around to critiques of, very much focused on like critiques of actual 800 to 1,000 words worth of writing. And like the stream too. And like the stream, I suppose that probably also helps YouTube know that, hey, this is something that you like. And so not only is it pushing out to other people, but hey, let me know when this kind of stuff is happening. All right, we did Pulling the Pin Part 2. This is Turning Pro by Stephen Pressfield. So let's see. Let's do these two. The definition of boring and the payoff of incapacity. Oh, let's breathe. So got the drink this morning. Let's do 2 deep breaths, complete exhales, and then take a sip of our favorite beverage. Everybody together now. Here we go. And sip. So our main topic is, by the way, this the HeroQuest Prophecy of Telor box. We will see what's in it. I just got that in yesterday. So, but first, the definition of boring. Something that's boring goes nowhere. It travels in a circle. It never arrives at its destination. The repetitive nature of the shadow life and of addiction is what makes both so tedious. No traction is ever gained. No progress is made. We're stuck in the same endless repeating loop. That's what makes addiction like hell. All addictions share, among others, 2 primary qualities. 1, they embody repetition without progress. 3, they produce incapacity as a payoff. The payoff of incapacity. Remember my friend who was addicted to love? She's charming, she's interesting, she's beautiful and adventurous and intelligent. If you saw a story about her in Vanity Fair, you might think, wow, what a brilliant life this woman leads, full of drama and romance and glamour. I wish I had that life. But my friend, she has wasted her life. I know because I've wasted vast tracts of my own. My friend used the pursuit of love to produce incapacity, and it has worked for her for decades. Her multiple talents have gone unexplored, untried, and unrealized. She's become a version of herself, but it's a shadow version, an inverted version, a crippled version. She is miserable, and she cannot or will not change. You might disagree with me. You might say my friend has a great life. You might be right. Distraction and displacement seem innocent on the surface. How can we be harming ourselves by having fun or seeking romance or enjoying the fruits of this big, beautiful world? But lives go down the tubes, one repetition at a time, one deflection at a time, 140 characters at a time. The following is a sampling, in no particular order, of the garden variety addictions that fall short of hardcore chemical dependency, but are still more than potent enough to cripple, malform, and destroy our lives. That's where we'll pick up tomorrow. Let's see. So, yeah, I got this in. And, I haven't bought a lot of board games recently. So this has kind of been an exception. I did get in the, what was that? The HeroQuest Monk. I had pre-ordered that a while ago. But I got too many board games stacking up. I know I still have one Kickstarter that's out for a board game, which is that it was actually on GameFound. It was the Rome Total War. So I know I still have that one out, but man, I've got too many games stacking up. So I haven't bought as many physical games as I used to over the past several months, just because, man, I've got so many. But I did make an exception here for these HeroQuest packs, even though I guess I didn't really even need to with these. My brother was like, there's so much HeroQuest to play. Do you have some kind of problem? Or you must have some kind of problem. And maybe that's true, because I was playing with my nephews. And of course, we don't get to play as often as I would like. I mean, I don't get to do gaming as often as I would like anyway. But they're still in the first box, the starter box. Maybe halfway through or not quite or something like that. So there's still a lot of HeroQuest to play, and it's not like I don't have the other boxes as well. Yeah, I know. So it's not like I've got the other expansions that we've looked at here. The Witch King, the Trial of Angmar, not the Trial of Angmar, the Witch King of the Return of the Witch King, Kalar's Keep. I've got them, and so we could play HeroQuest probably for years with the boys, and I wouldn't actually have to buy anything else. What's a good way to get this set up here on camera? But For whatever reason, I did decide to spring for these. So there's tons of HeroQuest to do. Yeah, and James says storage space. I guess it's partially because there were HeroQuest things that I didn't get as when it was originally released. I was like, man, I wanted them. But now, of course, they're probably easier to get. But Prophecy of Telor right here is the one we're going to look at today. And James is saying storage space is a premium. You can't store everything you'd like to own. At least I can't. I can't either. And in fact, that's the problem I was talking about. This house has got to get cleaned up. And it's got to get organized. I need to move stuff out of this house. There's stuff that's got to be that I've got that I probably don't need anymore, especially with regard to like some film and video production, as everything's been moving more digital. So I need to move trash bags worth of stuff out of this house and just keep what's necessary and what's going. I work in clutter, but I don't like it. I would prefer to not have it, but fortunately, at least I can work in it. Okay, anyway. And it would be difficult if it were all being used. It would be different if it were being used all the time. But it's just not. So I've not looked at this at all. So this says HeroQuest, the Prophecy of Telor, quest pack. Expand your HeroQuest game system, requires HeroQuest game system to play. And it is got this great shiny look to the box. Has anybody else picked this one up yet? I'm sure Phaser Wrist has. I don't see him in the chat. But here we go. So the Prophecy of Telor. This one is smaller, by the way, I'll notice, than these others. Just one second. As far as the box size goes. So, for instance, here is the Mage in the Mirror. Oh, I need to change up my size here. So here is the Mage in the Mirror. You can hardly see. But there's the Mage in the Mirror box that we've looked at earlier. And here is the Prophecy of Telor box. So that kind of surprised me. These are, the Prophecy of Telor box is actually close to, it might be, I don't have this handy, but like the original size of the Kalar's Keep and Return of the Witch Lord boxes. Whereas the Mage in the Mirror box and also the Barbarian box is larger. It's, well, you can't really see. But the Prophecy of Telor is also thinner. So smaller box size. But a good box size. Like I said, kind of a return to the original. So this says on the back, vile dread magic has rendered lore tome nigh unreadable, and its pages reveal just one name, Melar. Though the wizard Melar vanished long ago, leaving his tower and studies to ruin, it is known that he has been experimenting with forbidden magic beyond his means. Alas, in his disappearance, all that could be found was the Talisman of Lore, which is an artifact from the original quest pack. In fact, that's the one that my nephews were just questing for the other day. And they had recovered it. That was the last quest they played. Something must have been overlooked for Lore Tome to have been so gravely affected. Playing as one of HeroQuest's brave heroes, you must enter the maze of Melar and put an end to whatever foul machinations are in play. So this says, the ruins of Lore Tome shift and twist with ever-changing fate. Mysterious arcane forces are interfering with Mentor's magic in this thrilling HeroQuest expansion. Return to the world of HeroQuest and traverse through 13 thrilling quests to uncover the secrets surrounding the Talisman of Lore and the Prophecy of Telor. Features the Warlock hero as well as fiery orange monster miniatures and combat dice. So this one does have dice in it. I was just seeing this up here. It looks like it has dice. I didn't know that. So we've got fiery miniatures as well as the Warlock, which I was actually wondering where you got that, because people had said something about the Warlock on other streams, and I don't have a whole lot of the other characters. I just got the monk, and we were talking about that. Some people continue to put comments on the monk video about maybe the monk isn't as overpowered as we thought, so I guess we'll just have to see. This was already there. So Mike says, I supported the HasLab at the Mythic tier, so I had this expansion already, but bought the commercial version to collect the foil artwork. Oh. Okay. Well, now I didn't know that it was already released. So I didn't back the Kickstarter, not the Kickstarter, but their crowdfunding campaign. because I already had my HeroQuest in good condition from its original release. So that's how people are talking about getting the Warlock and things like that then. I got you. So this says featuring 13 quests, 15 finely detailed miniatures, 14 game cards, and 6 dice. So that explains that. So this is adding the Warlock in. And so that's why because I looked up to see if I could find like a Warlock box, like the Monk box, and I couldn't. And then I looked at this yesterday and went, oh, this has the Warlock in it. So now we know. Let's see what's inside. So Mike says Warlock, Druid, and Bard were bonuses to the Mythic tier. So that explains also why I don't have the Druid. I knew the Bard was. I knew the Orc Bard. All right. Here's the quest book by Stephen Baker. We'll look at the beginning of it and see what all the rules are, not the actual quest, but we'll do that here last. So we do have orange dice. Those are cool. Now, of course, I think there is something classic about the white and black dice, which is what the nephews always use. But I like having more dice at the table, like just to keep from reaching over everybody. And so we've got the blue dice. I've been Zargoning with the blue dice from the Barbarian quest pack. So now we have orange dice as well for the flames. So I was actually thinking that maybe I needed to pick up some more of the white dice. I've seen some places where you can get the white dice, but seems like that's going to be increasingly unnecessary as we've got more dice to the pack. So yes, look like the same dice from other things. I mean they are the same dice, just in a new color. But then again, I don't mind having more of these dice at the table at all. Hey, Andrew. Good morning. Good morning. All right. So what type of miniatures do we have here? Let me pull this up so you can see. So we do have them in this orange translucent style. Now, how are we going to paint those? Or do we even need to? You know, it could look good enough. I mean, I would hate, I guess. I think we talked about this with some other translucent miniatures. Some people are putting like washes on them or an ink. That might be a good way to go. Because you want to, I would want to preserve the translucent effect. I mean, some people probably just prime them and then repaint them, whatever they're supposed to be. But even if you just wanted to paint the base, I've noticed that once you paint the base, it makes everything look so much better. Makes it look finished instead of just a piece. I bet a whole piece like this. So I bet even if you came in, my monsters are on black bases. If I spent a little bit of time and painted the black bases, or the base is black, that would be enough to really set the person off. But I bet some people are doing some really neat stuff with inks. Andrew says, when she was younger, one of my nieces made me dice clay fired. They were so wonky, but it was very sweet. Some things are better store-bought. Right? Yes, thank you. Please do hit the like button here. Thank you. So it looks like some kind of giant. I guess we'll figure out what they are. We got a giant, maybe like a orc with a hammer. It might be a giant orc or ogre with a hammer. I like the skeleton. I like armored skeletons. I've always liked armored skeletons for some reason. And oftentimes you don't get to have armored skeletons. The HeroQuest skeletons are pretty classic. And I like them too, but they're definitely unarmored. But if I were doing an undead army, I would want armored skeletons. So this is like a fire armored skeleton. I have to figure out exactly what they're supposed to be. We got another one of the orcs with a hammer. Looks like some type of undead screaming woman. Maybe this is an undead zombie. Or I mean, undead mummy rather. On fire. This is definitely one of the abominations. Of course, we've got abominations instead of femurs. So this looks like the abomination, but a fire abomination. Another one of the women. Goblins, maybe? Fire goblins? Another mummy. So this right here, this one in red must be the warlock. So we got a warlock. She's got a big hand here. She's wearing some kind of like power glove or something. Is that like a halfling warlock? I guess we will find out. This one's in the same color red. So I was like, this is a monster, but it may not be. This looks like something that maybe the warlock controls. Maybe a chaos warrior or a dread warrior in fire. These are some big miniatures. Of course, I play on my jumbo size board, the 3D board that I built. But I also know that the new HeroQuest board, which is a problem that I didn't get because I don't have the new one, the new edition, is larger anyway. But these are some larger monsters. They'll probably still work or work just fine on my double. It's not quite double size. It's 150% size, I believe. It might be, and it might be 125% size. I believe that's what it is, which is still plenty large. This guy looks like he's wielding the power sword. That looks like the He-Man's power sword right there. PH says, "Don't paint the fire elemental monsters." Yeah, they need something to help bring out the detail. I'm sure there's been somebody out there who's been doing some fantastic work on inks and things like that. Because yeah, if they're supposed to be fire elemental, you don't want to disrupt that. You need to also. I'm a big fan of playability at the table, so you want to be able to identify them as what they are. So if they're on fire, but putting them on black bases, and even like this, it looks like they say highly detailed miniatures. Of course, I think there are other manufacturers who do much higher quality, like as far as detail miniatures go. Some people are talking about that with someone was talking about that with the monk the other day as well, that the face wasn't really as crisp as they would have liked, but still there's enough detail on here. There's going to be something that would make him pop a little bit more. And this guy right here, look. So that's the same sculpt. This one's in red and this one's in our translucent fire. My guess is there's nothing under this tray. That's correct. Nothing under this tray. But we got cards, and we do love cards. So let's see what's up with them. Brent says I like the dice. Yeah, I do too. Of course, the downside is that I've got to consolidate my HeroQuest boxes because I've got two of the original boxes, and I've got to go through and make sure that each one is a complete set, because that has not been. They've kind of gotten mixed, and so I take all of my HeroQuest stuff every time I want to go play with the nephews to make sure I have everything, because it's lost its organization. But that's like a lot of boxes now. It's a lot of boxes. All right, so we got artifact cards, new equipment cards. Here are warlock spells and how to play the warlock. That does look like a halfling warlock. Let me see. Is there too much light? All right, let's look at the warlock first. Why not? Okay, warlock. The back, it says, "You are the warlock, a magical artillerist who is bonded with a sinister creature, allowing you to assume its winged form." So you can transform into it. "Let your allies protect you while you deal damage from afar. The warlock may only use the weapons, artifacts, and equipment usable by the wizard." So the warlock has 2 attack dice, 2 defense dice, body points 4, and mind points 5. Starts with a wand and 2 red dice worth of movement, which is standard. Okay, I wonder if we're going to see the wand over here in this. All right, so here are Warlock spells. Dark Wings. You may cast this spell on an enemy's turn after you suffer damage to reduce that damage to 0. Instantly move to any unoccupied square that you can see. Okay. Here, I'll move this down. Maybe that'll help. There we go. Since we're on the cards. Andrew says, Jada makes 1/5 inch metal painted figures of popular toy IP. Marvel, DC, G.I. Joe. I bought a set cheap. Not designed for gaming, but could work. 1.5 inch. Not 1.5, not 1/5 inch scale. So that way you could have Spider-Man fight some fire elementals. I'm sure somebody would totally be all over that. Is this a CCG then? No. This is not a customizable card game. No. This is an expansion pack for HeroQuest. So it's miniatures. But it comes with the cards for the spells and stuff. But this is just a HeroQuest quest expansion. So Dark Wings. Yeah. Warlock spell. So they only comes with 3. Fear. This spell may be cast on any one monster. The target is consumed by fear and may only roll 1 attack die. This spell can be broken on the target's future turns by rolling 1 red die for each of the target's mind points. On a roll result of 6, the spell is broken. If the spell has no effect on targets with 0 mind points. So it can be broken on future turns. It says, no, this says that this does not say at once or on a future turn. So that's interesting. It says this spell can be broken on the target's future turns by rolling 1 red die for each of the target's mind points. If they roll a 6, the spell is broken. But not like some of the other spells that we see, which is can be broken at once or on a future turn. Another Warlock spell here. Demon Form. This spell may be cast on yourself, only on yourself. For the duration of the spell, roll 1 additional attack die and ignore all pit traps. The spell ends when you suffer any amount of damage. This spell is restored when you reduce a monster's body points to 0. Oh, interesting. So the druid I know has that spell that regenerates whenever the druid is at full strength. So this spell ends when you suffer any amount of damage, but is restored when you reduce a monster's body points to 0. So when you kill someone. So that's why we got the hero version of the demon, which is fun. But so low on hit points, 1 additional attack die. So unlike the wizard in that sense, so the wizard has more spells, but an additional attack die over here, and then wand. So I wonder what wand does. Good morning, Sable. All right, let's go to equipment then. Potion of Battle. Bitter but effective. Drink this potion to re-roll all of your attack dice. 200 gold coins. Potion of Lesser Healing. A blue, softly glowing elixir that tastes of home. Drink this potion to restore up to 2 body points. 200 gold coins. Potion of Healing. A blue, brilliantly glowing elixir that tastes of home. Drink this potion to roll 1 red die and restore that number of body points, not exceeding your body point total. 500 gold coins. Potion of Magic. When uncorked, a plume of smoke emerges in the shape of an arcane rune. Drink this potion to recover up to 3 spells you've cast during this quest. Ah, all right. 400 gold coins. What does home taste like? Potion of Restoration. The scent of lavender fills the air. Drink this potion to restore 1 last body point and 1 lost mind point. Wand. So here is what she's got for wand. This wand grants you 2 attack dice against any monster in your line of sight. They may only be used. It may only be used by the Warlock. I was wondering if the wand was going to do something like that because I said the Warlock is low on spells compared to the Wizard. Does get 2 attack dice. So basically, this gives the Warlock the ability to attack at range with 2 attack dice. And that's basically, so it's basically an infinite attack spell. Basically an infinite attack spell when you have the wand. 150 gold coins. May only be used by the Warlock. So the Wizard can't get that. The Wizard's deal is still lots of spells. But the wand, lots of different variety in spells. But the Warlock has infinite ranged. I think this can work. Has anybody played with the Warlock? I'm sure lots of people have since it's been out. But I have not played with the Warlock yet. Anybody here played with the Warlock? Does that work? You know, we talked about how we're not sure how Hasbro really chooses to balance these things. And we didn't think actually in the past that even some of these other ones, like the Mage in the Mirror, was all that balanced. And exactly, or at least they should tell you what type of equipment you should have before going into those brutal adventures. I don't remember the Telor's Keep or Return of the Witch Lord being that brutal. We played them quite a bit, and I remember them being more like the initial quests as far as difficulty goes. So we got some artifacts here. So Zero the Blade says, so the Warlock can hit and run. Yeah. PH says, I like how HeroQuest has some made-up rules for specific spells. They are simple, situational, and keep the game fresh. It's like something that old RPGs used to do. Yeah, it kind of does have that feel. You know, we talked about on one of these streams after I lost one of the Barbarian quests that it did have kind of an old-school feel, which I thought was kind of cool because there were things that you could do that just didn't, that just caused you to kind of lose the game if you did them. But yeah, so it just develops situational spells. So I think this is what James is going to talk about. James, it's a delicate balance to strike. Hasbro wants you to buy them, so they need to be differently powerful. But as you buy them, you don't want to feel like you're obsoleting the original heroes. And that's a major concern of mine. And it's not like if you introduce them into the original quest, like are you the quest pack, are you going to be having your heroes blow away the powerful? Yes, it still feels like a power creep, right? So there wasn't something built in the system, and this is something that I would want to think about if I were rewriting this or trying to also create adventures and things. I do like the mathematics that something like Pathfinder was trying to do, or even the point build system behind GURPS. So I think I would want to try to start with some type of point system like that, and then allow you to build out custom heroes. Like if you're going to build a module or something, here's the heroes, here's how you adjust them. Like, so all the heroes are, 35 points or whatever, but they can be different. It can be different as long as they're all made to the same kind of point value, even if that's not something the players ever see. Because it's just like, here, you want to play the Warlock or the Barbarian or whatever. If that structure was there for the game design, I think that would be better. It's how I would go about it. That's more complicated to start with, but I think it pays dividends in the long run. Because yeah, I'm against power creep. I can get down with a wizard who has a wand like this. And then they're giving up this. But now 4 body points, that's low, but if they're ranged, they're going to hang out, be able to endure quite a bit more, I think. So spell scroll, rock skin. This spell may be cast on any one hero, including yourself. That hero may roll 1 additional combat die when defending. The spell is broken when the hero suffers 1 point of damage. The scroll crumbles to dust after use. Any hero may use this spell. So classic spell scroll. I remember those from the expansions, Telor's Keep and Return of the Witch Lord. Of course, rock skin is one of the elemental spells the wizard elf can use. That puts it in the hands of anybody. Spell scroll, heal body. This spell may be cast on any one hero, including yourself. Its magical power immediately restores up to 4 lost body points, but does not give a hero more than their starting number. The scroll crumbles to dust after use. Any hero may use this spell. Oh, yeah, we talked about that yesterday. Andrew says, big layoffs announced at Hasbro. Never a good time to be laid off, but December seems the worst. Yeah, well, that's true, too. Yeah, that's a really terrible time. But, yeah, we looked at that. Phaser Wrist brought that up yesterday. So spell scroll right there. Also an elemental spell. Spell scroll, Water of Healing. Another one. It's another healing spell. Water of Healing. This spell may be cast on any one hero, including yourself. Contact with this revitalizing water restores up to 4 lost body points, but does not give a hero more than their starting number. The scroll crumbles to dust after 1 use. Any hero may use this spell. So is this another spell scroll? Let's find out. It is. So all of our artifacts are spell scrolls. Lightning Bolt. This spell may be cast. Now, this is something that was a Zargon spell in the original release, not part of the elementals. So you can get it as a spell scroll. This spell may be cast in a horizontal, vertical, or diagonal direction. This bolt will travel in a straight line until it strikes a wall or a closed door. It inflicts 2 body points of damage on all heroes or monsters that stand in its path. This scroll crumbles to dust after use. Any hero may use this scroll. I mean, that's pretty intense. That's the first time I've seen this put in the hero's hands. So pretty cool. Man. Yeah, I like playing HeroQuest. I'm going to try to play as much as I possibly can with the nephews after Christmas. At least 2 games. I'd love to do 3. Like just say, hey, let's play 2 games. You can do a double header back to back. At least one day. HeroQuest is a New Year's tradition in my family. We'll play at New Year's. So at least on New Year's, I'd like to get the family back together and play some HeroQuest. Maybe a couple of games. I love playing with the boys. All right, so let's see what's in here. Now, we're not going to look at the quests, so don't worry about spoilers. I just want to look at see if we got new rules and things like that here in the beginning. So don't worry about, we're not going to actually look at the quest maps or anything like that. Oh, yeah. Andrews, I forget what day of the week it is. And the more I think about it, the less sense it makes. You're supposed to deliver bad corporate news on Friday and good news on Monday. This was bad news on Monday. HeroQuest, the gateway drug for D&D. Right. And I told him that we could go on. Now, I have played D&D with my oldest nephew, the oldest one who's playing HeroQuest with us. We've also played Dragon Strike. So I played HeroQuest and Dragon Strike with him. We got a lot more HeroQuest to do here. Tons and tons of quests to do. But I also told him if they go through Dragon Strike, and then I want to play a couple of other things with them. And then at some point, I do want to do the AD&D, the intro to AD&D box set. I want to do this one with them. That's going to be fun. They need to get a little bit more playing in. I think they'll have a good time. But yes, we do need some more, more gateway drugs. All right, 2 D&D. All right. Gateway drugs, more to gateway drugs, 2 Dungeons and Dragons. So the Alchemist Shop, these potions may be purchased only between quests. So these are the potions that we saw on the and the cards. I love that we have cards for them now. That was missing from the original release. So this is better. Potion of Restoration, Potion of Magic, Potion of Healing, Potion of Battle, Potion of Lesser Restoration. Oh, so this says background for Zargon's eyes only. So I'm going to skip over that. Zero the Blade says, with this on the HQ app, maybe I can get my friends to play this during the summer. Sable says, but Hasbro is in real trouble, especially since all those years-long D&D Beyond subs that were canceling are now coming up for renewal, and they're petrified about how many they lost. Oh, yeah. All right, so I'm going to skip over the For Zargon's eyes only. Okay, that might not be something we're supposed to read either. So what about this right here? This message should be read aloud to all players. So this is public information right here. So it didn't look like there was as much like new rules and stuff as there was in like that. Which one was it that had all these new rules? How many expansions do I have? Oh, Dread Moon. That was Dread Moon. Yeah. Let's see. Mentor is distracted in his welcome. As you enter his study, the wizard glances at you, nods slightly, then continues to stare deeply into the pages of his open book. Finally, Mentor looks up, eyes still focused on a distant thought. Apologies, my friend. The wizard closes the large book and stands before you. I am troubled. The pages in Lore Tome do not reveal anything to me. Do not reveal anything. I am troubled. The pages in Lore Tome do not reveal everything to me. The symbols often shift and change as future possibilities come into view. But not today. Today is different. The pages are like liquid. The runes are formless ink that swirl on the page. And when I focus my power, they take shape but for a moment, revealing one word, one name, Melar. As you may recall, you recovered Melar's Talisman of Lore from the heart of this maze some time ago. What I did not tell you at the time was that Melar was experimenting with magic beyond his own means in pursuit of research. What he was researching, I do not know. He vanished, and the mage in the tower fell to ruin and were abandoned. When I discovered a scroll that bespoke of a talisman, I sent you to retrieve it. But now I feel there must be something else. Fear there must be something else. Something I have overlooked. Dread magic is surely at play here, for the pages of Lore Tome have never been before so affected. I must explore this further. You, my friends, must return to Melar's maze. There you must uncover all that remains of the library, scour the laboratory once more, and delve into the tower on the cliffs of Turek Tor. I will guide you as best I can, but with the pages of Lore Tome in turmoil, my help will be limited. When I'm able, I will use the Far Voice spell to speak with you directly at key points along your journey. Hurry, my trusted heroes. Hurry, my trusted heroes. Hurry, for without Lore Tome's guidance, the forces of Zargon move unseen, and the realm is in dire peril indeed. And the next page is a map. So that's what's going on here. So this one is not. This one strikes me more like the original. Return to the Witch Lord and Killar's Keep. We don't have as many of the extra goodies in here, but it's a smaller box. And I guess it was cheaper. I don't really know. I don't remember what the price point was. PH says, I think an interesting way to simplify yet maintain simulationism is to use a simple resolution system and apply straightforward rules to specific situations. Even the same type of action could have different rules depending on the situation. This compartmentalizes and simplifies the game. Of course, players would need to abdicate knowledge of the rules and trust the game master. Andrew says, at least Hasbro unloaded Entertainment 1. They need to make toys and worry less about things outside their core competency. Not every company can be Disney, and I'm glad for that. Yeah, I'd say it's actually bad from an investment perspective. Laying people off is to mitigate overhead because the company isn't profitable. They're shrinking. No investor likes that. That was brought up too yesterday, that idea. Oh, wait, what is going on here? We didn't have, I was just thinking, so did we cover everything? But wait a minute. One of my big mysteries is what's going on with all of these fire guys. I thought that we were going to have cards here like we ordinarily do that explain what these monsters are and what their stats are, because there should be monster cards, right? I would think that there should be, because in all of the other ones, if there was a new monster or something, there's a card here that tells us what's going on with it. But in this case, we had cards that explain the hero, but not the monsters. I wonder if that information is someplace in the quests or in that stuff. I typically play Zargon. Let me just see if that information maybe on this other page. Nope. I don't see on that first page. Looking through it, I don't see any type of monster stats. So they're in the quest notes. Okay, so I was wondering if somebody was going to know. On Point Crap says they are just regular monsters. The mythic tier for the same quest had the models in the normal color. Oh, they're just regular monsters? Well, that's a bit lame. They're just fire-like. So the mythic tier for the same quest had the models in normal colors, but they're in the quest notes. So Mike says they're in quest notes. Let me just see if I could find something that tells me something cool about this, because I would think they are like fire or something. I see something about skeletons of the high mages. So I guess you could use that, but no, that doesn't really strike me as. I mean, that's a warrior type, not as a skeleton of the high mage. High mage skeletons, I see again. Mike says also some folks are using the gargoyle as the demon form. Huh. Well, I'm a little bit disappointed in that I don't obviously see something like it. To me, that sounds like we're gonna have to add something cool. If I'm gonna have these like fire things, it seems like something that this wizard we're looking for would be involved with, and we need to get. So what's like the purpose of this guy? This fire demon? Maybe he's in the. I mean, he looks like a demon. Something I hadn't seen before. I guess it could be the gargoyle. Is that actually the? I don't know the new sculpt. That could be the gargoyle sculpt. Maybe that's what it is. Huh. Well, that's a little disappointing. If you're going to have these cool fire-like miniatures, they need some fire rules. I bet people are already making something that is that's a homebrew for them. I would certainly want that. By the time I put that on the table, I know my nephews are going to be like, "Oh, what's up with that?" Especially if they've seen all the monsters before. By the time you're going through this new quest, to put something new down on the table. So, all right, cool, but slightly less cool than I was wanting it to be. I wanted to see what the new monsters were. Where's my box? Oh, the minis, Mike says the minis were also the alt sculpts from the mythic tier. Oh, so they're alternate sculpts. So that would explain. So that would be. So that's just our standard, or that's our standard skeleton, but an alternate sculpt. I guess this is our orc then. They use the big like Warhammer style massive orcs that are more like, to me, ogres. I like smaller kind of demon like orcs. Although, so I guess this is our standard goblin then. Goblin, orc, abomination, which is femur, skeletons. So that must just be our standard zombie then. Zombies, skeletons, orcs, chaos warrior or dread warrior, and gargoyle. Okay, so that's it. Huh. God, that seems like it was a missed. That seems like it was a missed opportunity to not add something cool with the fact that you've got the miniatures that look like this. PH says, every time I hear Zargon, I think about a shared universe where Zardoz is one of the incarnations and Sean Connery is his paladin. Well, hopefully, so this has 13 quests in it. Like, maybe if we play some serious HeroQuest, we'll be able to get through some Prophecy of Telor as well. Lots of gaming to be done. All right. Well, anything else we need to talk about today? So I also have, I got this one as well. So this is the Spirit Queen's Torment. So I will hold off on opening it, but that will be, so this one also has, so this one has the characters in blue. Well, okay, that, I'm not going to, I will unbox this one at another time, but I got the Spirit Queen's Torment as well because, right here, because why not? You know, like I said, it's some kind of sickness or something. So looking at the Spirit Queen's Torment right here, that one has miniatures in, looks like a translucent blue. Oh, let's see. Wells ghostly turquoise monsters miniatures. So I want them to have special rules too. If we've got ghostly whatever, that needs to be in the rules. Now I'm going to be disappointed when it probably doesn't have that. We do have more dice in this, but this one also. So this one also has the orc. How do I get the druid? How do I get the druid? Features a bard hero as well as ghostly turquoise monster miniatures and combat dice. So the bard is in here. So at least I've got that one. I'll have to look where the druid comes from. James says, I like the shade of translucent blue for those miniatures. I wonder if it's the same that was used in one of the other packs. Was it Dread Moon that has like the specters in it? It might be the same type of blue. But yeah, I mean, of course, there is only so many modifications that you can do. You also have to think about that when you're designing a game that you want. I want it to be simple. I mean, I like HeroQuest in its simplicity and its elegance. It could arguably need a few more things, but you don't want too many things because otherwise, what are you trying to manage? Especially if you're trying to build out a system that, like a point-based system to start building other quests and other creatures and monsters from. You need to have variety. I mean, you've got good variety like in HeroQuest originally, but if you're trying to go forward, well, how about more variety? Well, how do you get more variety without just being overpowered? That's a good question. So I got to think about that. I meant to brainstorm that with my brother at some point, and then we'll come back and talk about that on the morning grind once we get back to some game design, which I'm looking forward to. All right. Well, I guess everybody go forth and have a wonderful day. We are closing on the hour here, so I guess we will go ahead and wrap. But please do hit the like button, subscribe, hit bells, things like that if you're not getting the notifications about the stream. So, and then also come over to the Table Talk podcast or live stream, and then we'll be talking with Ian Runkle from Roll of Law tomorrow. DBJ, RPG by DBJ. DBJ is a game designer, so he will be on Table Talk on the other channel a week from tomorrow. So we've got two great guests coming up. I'm really excited about that. James says, you need more complex rules that are focused on player decision making and not just rolling. Yeah. All right. Well, I will see everybody later. Have a wonderful day. I'm going to go forth and be productive. I hope you do too. Have a wonderful day. Be creative, be constructive, and grind on. Later, everybody.